All right, man. So I'm gonna play the video of Chris Carter. He went on this podcast, or he's on, or has a podcast. And just listen to the language and what he says, how he says it in response to the situation with Shedeur Sanders. Just listen to what he says. Listen to what he says, man. We're going to get into this because the reason why I wanted to delve in on this situation is because Chris Carter made some out of pocket comments, and it sounds like jealousy. It sounds like a vendetta that he has against the Sanders family. And some of the things that he's saying doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up at all. So we're going to play what he had to say about Shedeur Sanders getting drafted in the fifth round, 144th pick. And I'm going to be stopping and pausing, giving you my response. But let's go ahead and get into this situation, man, because I definitely left a comment on their YouTube channel where I first heard these comments by Chris Carter. But let's get into it.
What happened with Shedeur Sanders?
Well, a number of things happened. The number one thing that didn't happen was there was not a collusion message with the NFL owners.
Okay, what? Okay, a lot of people think
there was not a collusion effort. What? Why are you so confident in that, Chris? Are you behind the scenes? Are you in those meetings, or get a text message or in the group chat with these NFL owners? How do you know that? How do you spoke with so much confidence? How do you know that this did not happen? Because what's quite strange to me, and you've been hearing it all weekend, all this week, on how it's kind of ironic how all of a sudden nobody picked Shedeur Sanders. Mel Kiper said it best. This is ridiculous. He said in all of his 41 years of doing the mock draft and speaking to general managers, speaking to the scouts and everything that nature, he said Shedeur Sanders is a first round quarterback. And let me tell y'all something, man. Shedeur Sanders is taller and bigger than Cam Ward. And you mean to tell me, Chris Carter, that you don't believe that there was no collusion from the NFL owners not picking Shedeur Sanders, not in the first round, not in the second round, not in the third round, not in the fourth round, but you mean to tell me in the fifth round, and Chris Carter, you going to come with your big fat lip, going to come out your mouth and talk about, man, there was no collusion? Man, get out of here, Chris. You sound stupid and ridiculous.
that.
Because they wouldn't be able to keep a secret like that.
When
So they might do it, but they couldn't shut up about it.
They wouldn't be able to shut up about it. But every owner is very, very selfish. Now, why would I do something to my detriment? Like if I need a quarterback and I think this kid is it, what he didn't realize is the guys that have fallen in the draft before, they all had unusual traits. Like they had some superstar qualities to them. Now, some other things happened that made them fall, but Shedeur and his family, they overplayed their hand. Them thinking that he was in the same evaluation mode as Eli Manning, they didn't play that right. Them trying to narrow the teams that he was going to go to, that didn't do right. Not working out at the combine, that wasn't the right thing. His interview process, obviously he could have done a lot better in that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people left that meeting, felt he was very, very entitled.
Which mean like
listen to this, man. He's only regurgitating what the media, what the white media is trying to tear down Shedeur Sanders. That's the only thing that Chris Carter and his big fat lips is doing. Let me tell you something, man. Show me videos of the interviews, because I'm not taking no word or face value from what white media is telling you. I'm telling you right now, they put out a narrative about Shedeur Sanders. They wanted to send a clear, strong message to not only Shedeur Sanders, but to Deion Sanders that, hey, listen here, boy. Listen here, dad. We don't care what you think. When you come into the NFL, you come correct or don't come at all. And we're going to send a strong message. You heard what Boomer Esiason said. He was on the podcast. You heard what Boomer said. He said that the NFL owners said to wipe Shedeur Sanders' name off the draft. Sanders and the Sanders family. Point blank, period.
To know, and he said he felt weird about it. I don't know who else said they didn't like the meeting with him, or was just people behind the scenes saying they did.
Well, the thing about it, they didn't draft him.
I know that.
So it's not the tape, and he likes guys to be a little more open before he lets it go. And he doesn't have a big time arm. He's not a big guy. He's not overly athletic.
Listen, do you hear this? Do you hear this? He doesn't have a big time arm. What are you talking about? He's not that athletic. He's not that big. But Shedeur Sanders is bigger than Cam Ward. Cam Ward went the #1 pick as the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. What are we talking about here? See, he's running with the narrative of what the white media has been putting out. You tell me by looking at the tape, you mean to tell me that it doesn't show Shedeur Sanders having a strong arm? It doesn't show how tough Shedeur is? He was the most sacked quarterback in the NCAA football, but still had the highest completion percentage in NCAA football. Cris Carter sound like a jealous Negro who's sitting here drinking the Kool-Aid, and he sounds like a person that is vindictive against the Sanders family for him to sit his doggone black ass in that chair and said the things that he said. He was out of pocket, he was disrespectful, and I know he had an agenda here.
Mm-hmm. So his measurables are not, say, first round measurables. But he played football like a first round.
But his tape's first round tape. But his measurables are not first round measurables.
Well, you don't play football all the time. You're a human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room, how he already came up with this line of merchandise, legendary, like he's already calling himself legendary. All those things are problems. Right now, he's working check to check, man. Like he's not going to get a big signing bonus. There's not going to be a big guarantee. Any day they want to get rid of him in the week, they can get rid of him.
He does. Don't we think Shedeur is smart enough to know he's not at Jackson State and he's not at Colorado?
No.
You don't think so?
I listened to too many of his answers. I saw too many of the outtakes. I saw too many times he was working out with other players, and he said things that I thought were highly questionable for my franchise quarterback.
So like what?
When he was working out with Cam Ward, him and Cam Ward, the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to cut a rap video together? No, I want to be known as a football player.
And he's like, what do you do for fun? He's like, I play football. Like,
why wouldn't you sit down with people? And something these kids never understand, even if you're a top 10 pick, you're in the NFL for a long time. Yeah. So your interview, your tape, people in the room that see you, someone can like you in the room. They might not draft you 5-10 years later, man.
You're looking for a guy, you're looking to trade, and they remember your interview.
Yes. It's a small world. This whole thing with Deion and the media and everything, like it's out of control. Like it did not help him. It helped him make money in college because he got followers, but it actually hurt him as far as him getting a job as an NFL quarterback.
You mean as Shedeur, his social media stuff with Shedeur?
Yes.
It hurt him.
Yeah. What else hurt him?
I know you've
let me tell you what he understands today.
Okay.
He ain't running shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, they taught him a great lesson.
Okay.
Like
he said that they taught him a great lesson, the good old boy system. So Cris Carter's on the get along game with the good old boy system. You have to understand the tone of Chris Carter's comments. You got to understand. See, out of all the people, we got this jackass sitting in this chair that has a major past. This guy have had so many issues with the law. This guy has broken so many laws in his past. He got alcohol addiction. And I'm telling you, man, this dude has had so many problems off the field. We ain't even talk about on the field, but off the field. But yet, Shedeur Sanders, who has had no trouble with the law, who has been an outstanding citizen, who has been a great young man, a leader of men, and you have this guy right here sitting in that chair, Chris Carter, that's trying to assassinate Shedeur Sanders' character, trying to assassinate his integrity, trying to assassinate. He's no better than the NFL owners. He's no better than these Yahoo journalists and these reporters that sit here talking negative about Shedeur Sanders. They're coming up with every false narrative to make Shedeur Sanders look bad. And I'm telling you, I don't like it. I'm telling you, it's a full of crap. And I'm telling you, it's come from jealousy from within. Because let me tell you this, let me make it very clear. When Archie Manning came out and said that he's protecting his son, Eli Manning, and he said it boldly, he didn't do nothing different than what Deion Sanders did. Archie Manning came out publicly and he actually forced himself upon Eli Manning, his son, to force him to where he wanted his son to play. And guess what? White media came out and said, "Oh man, he's an awesome father. Look what he's doing. He's being a great father, protecting his son." I have no issue, man. What father that would not want to protect your child and going to an organization that's going to protect your son? But when Deion Sanders does it, when he says the same thing that Archie Manning says, guess what happens? Deion Sanders is made to look like he's the villain. He's made to look like he caused his son to drop all the way down to the 5th round. It wasn't Deion Sanders. Guess what? It was the NFL owners, because the NFL owners wanted to prove a point and make a point that no black man is going to talk to us and going to dictate to us that you think that you're going to have the terms that you want. We're going to show you, black men, that you don't have the power. We, the white bosses who are the NFL owners of the NFL, we're going to show you. So we're going to show you the power that we have over you and your black son. Point blank, period. That's what happened.
You don't have this figured out. Your dad don't have this figured out.
Who's they? NFL,
Shedeur,
the world. No, who taught you? Said they taught him. I'm just curious. Like,
well, the system.
The system. Okay,
there's a system out there, man.
Okay.
Like you're going for a job interview. So for his job interview, he was so concerned about what his outfit was. His necklace was over $100,000. Like he hadn't even convinced people that you're the face of our franchise. Matter of fact, he had convinced people that they were better off going in a different direction, even with people who had lesser talent. That's the rub he put on the people.
If that's the case, that's a bad interview, bro.
No, it is the case. He didn't get drafted right. It's no speculation. Like, we're through the draft. We're through 3 days. He threw away at least $30 to $50 million. At least.
And let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I support Shedeur Sanders. I support Deion Sanders. I support everything that they're about. I support their confidence. Let me tell you something, man. You have a lot of people out here. You have racist people. You have people that's even sees our own skin color. You have Negroes just like Chris Carter that want to take shots at the Sanders family. See, Chris Carter sounds like a person that's jealous of Deion Sanders, because your life has not turned out the way it want to be. You remember he was at one point an NFL analyst for ESPN? Remember that? Well, Chris Carter got fired. 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 You heard me? Look at here. Look at here. Cris Carter was fired from Fox Sports in November of 2019 after 3 years with the network. He had been a co-host on the First Things First morning show since its launch in 2017. The reason for his dismissal was never officially released, but reports suggested it stemmed from a disagreement with network management, particularly regarding his role on the network's NFL coverage. Come on, man. Look at this. Some reports mention that Carter had been the subject of an internal investigation. Come on, man. So you mad with the NFL network. You're mad with the network at Fox Sports is the reason why you got fired. But yet they fired your black behind, but yet you don't see or don't want to see what's clearly going on with Shedeur Sanders, but you have an issue and you got the audacity to come out here on live TV and say that it's Shedeur Sanders' fault. It's Deion Sanders' fault. And you said that Deion Sanders overplayed his hand because he over-evaluated his own son. Let me tell you something. If you don't support your own child, if you don't have the confidence that your child is just as good as anybody else or any other quarterback, what are you supposed to do, Cris Carter? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to have that confidence. You're supposed to have swag. You're supposed to lead from the front. This is all what Shedeur Sanders has done. This is all what Deion Sanders has done. But somehow, some way, you have a problem with it, Cris Carter. Some way down the line, you have a problem with it. You, Cris Carter, you're going to come up here and you're going to say that it's all on the Sanders family. They overplayed their hand. They exaggerated the strength, the leaderships, the athleticism, the strong arm that Shedeur Sanders has. So you want to drink the tea on what these nonsense fools out here are saying about Shedeur Sanders, and you want to sit there, regurgitate, and believe what they're saying. I believe Shedeur Sanders has a strong arm. I believe Shedeur Sanders is big enough to be a quarterback. I believe Shedeur Sanders has the IQ to be a leader and a starter in the NFL. I believe Shedeur Sanders has the right to be able to say legendary because he believes that he has the confidence. I believe that Deion Sanders has the right to say what he said because he has the means and resources to understand what's going on with a lot of these teams. You don't have the right coaches. You have a lot of coaches in the NFL right now that's winging it. You have a lot of general managers right now that's treating the players unfairly. At some point, you got to stand for something. At some point, you have to stand for something. And Cris Carter doesn't have a leg to stand on. Shedeur Sanders has not been in no trouble ever with the law. Shedeur Sanders has abided by the rules to continue to play on the football field. Shedeur Sanders has been an outstanding student. Outstanding student. He has the leadership. But then you got a bozo the clown here that want to say that Shedeur Sanders cares more about how he looks. He cares more about his $100,000 chain. He cares more about himself than actually being a team leader. That's a false narrative. That's a false narrative, y'all. That's a false narrative. Let me say what Mel Kiper. Because let me tell you something. What we ain't going to do This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Took the Colorado quarterback, the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, and son of Dion led the FBS in completion percentage, fourth in passing yards. Just a couple months ago was in the conversation for the top pick. Heck, right before the draft started on Thursday, he was minus 600 to go in the first round, and yet he is still out there. A shock. Meanwhile, there were three other quarterbacks taken on day two of the NFL draft, including that guy, Tyler Shuck out of Louisville. First one off the board to New Orleans, making him the highest drafted quarterback to the Saints since Archie Manning over 50 years ago. Third round, Seattle sent a message by taking Jalen Milroe from Alabama, the 92nd pick overall. First time Seattle took a QB in the first 3 rounds since eclectic.
I like to say, I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. Fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round at quarterback. That's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough. I don't see, outside of not being have the rocket arm and the 4.6 speed and the big frame, the 6'3", 230-pound frame, what is he lacking? Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. Fourth round, Kirk Cousins went. Fourth round, Dak Prescott went. Worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion.
Indeed. Sports Center on the road.
Period.
Ryan, I am absolutely stunned. Here's a player that started 37 games, led the nation in completion percentage. He's also incredibly tough. He was sacked 94 times over 2 seasons and only missed 1 game. He was my second quarterback on the board, very similar to Mel. I thought he was a first-round pick that could come in and start right away because of anticipation and accuracy. I cannot believe that a team in the first 3 rounds, 102 players were drafted and didn't draft Shedeur Sanders. Ryan, one of the things you have to understand is the NFL is the ultimate meritocracy. Every team has the same amount of money. Every team has the same amount of draft choices. And not one team thought that Shedeur Sanders could help them win. Ridiculous. When 5 quarterbacks have already gone. I was part of the Miami Dolphins in 2016, and we drafted Laremy Tunsil. He was the #1 guy on our board. Laremy Tunsil was a great player, a great person. He obviously hit a bump in the road, and we saw it as an unexpected opportunity. Johnny Manziel came out. A lot of questions about his background. He won in the first round.
Guess what? A lot of things came out by Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel had a lot of issues off the field. Legal issues. But yet you had a team that drafted him because they felt that he was the leader of the team. Shedeur Sanders, he had no issues off the field. A leader of men, young men. Bigger than Johnny Manziel. Shedeur Sanders is bigger than Johnny Manziel. Some people would sit here and say, but Johnny Manziel was electrifying. You don't think Shedeur Sanders was electrifying? You don't think what Shedeur Sanders done in his 2 years at Colorado wasn't electrifying? How he turned a program, he helped turn the program around from off winning 1 game to winning 8 or 9 games? Man, get out of here, man.
The fact that we're sitting here talking about the 4th round is unbelievable what has happened, given the fact that this guy's been such a good player over 37 games.
And Sanders doesn't have the kind of bumps that you're mentioning with the 2 previous guys you mentioned. And not only that, I mean, in many ways, I say it again, this was a guy who was in the conversation to be the top pick not too long ago. And now here we are. Much more from the draft coming up ahead, including where Shedeur should land. And we reveal the team that's had the best draft through 2 days. Mike, thanks so much. I can tell you, we didn't.
Let me tell you something, man. I could tell you exactly what happened. Listen to this right here.
For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, I like to say is, I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round at quarterback. That's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough. I don't see, outside of not being have the rocket arm and the 4.6 speed and the big frame, the 6'3", 230-pound frame, what is he lacking? Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. Fourth round, Kirk Cousins went. Fourth round, Dak Prescott went. Worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion.
Come on, man.
For Deion Sanders.
Come on, man. Come on, man. We all know what this is, but then yet you have Cris Carter that come up here and want to say that it's the Sanders fault. It's Deion Sanders' fault. It's Shedeur Sanders' fault. It's because he came in there. It was about me mentality, about me attitude. It wasn't about he didn't show that he can lead an NFL franchise. And what we're looking for is someone that's going to show us that they can lead our franchise and come with humility. See, that's that cold word of, boy, stay in your place. The NFL created a false narrative about this young black man, and I don't like it. Just listen to what Mel Kiper had said all past weekend. Just listen to what he said. He wasn't lying. In his 47 years of doing what he's doing, this was egregious. This was unnecessary for them to treat this young black man like this. But what it is they wanted him to bend the knee and kiss the ring of the NFL owners. It's no issue for a black man to have the confidence that he is the best on the football field, and he is a leader of men, and he has shown us time and time again what he can do on the field and what he's going to do in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders is going to do great things. I continue to hope that he continue to stay protected, that God protects him in this environment of the NFL, because let me tell you something, it sounds very disgusting on what's going on, and it's not right. They tried to prove a point. They tried to make this young black man look bad, and they did that by spinning these false narrative. And this white media, not all, but some in this white media tried to categorize this young black man as a person that's selfish, a person that has an ego to think he's bigger than the team. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Shedeur Sanders did not deserve what he got from the NFL owners and from these NFL journalists, these past NFL players. You got some of them just talk very nasty about Shedeur Sanders, how he bombed the interviews. All this was orchestrated and was pre-planned to prove a point to the Sanders family. We don't like the way you're coming into our house. We don't like the way that you're coming into our house. So we're going to teach you a lesson, boys, to stay in your place. That's what these NFL owners did. We're going to teach you a lesson, boys, to stay in your place. I don't care what you have done in NCAA football. Stay in your place, boys. Archie Manning, the Manning family is the white cream of the crop. And we're going to protect them because they are a dynasty, because they are white. But when it comes to you this black family, stay in y'all place. Y'all are mediocre. The Manning family is prestigious, but y'all are trash. I want y'all to listen very good, because that's exactly how the NFL owners feel about the Sanders family. And they orchestrated this whole thing to treat them just like that. Y'all go ahead and like and share the stream. It'll be greatly appreciated to continue to help this channel grow. And I'm going to see y'all on the next live video. Take care.